Diversity and inclusion are defined as giving everyone an equal opportunity, no matter their race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, or social class. This has been an important topic in today's society, especially within the workforce. For example, Macquarie Group, an investment bank, holds a core objective to promote diversity and inclusion within the workplace. Diversity and inclusion is the idea of having respect and unifying all employees despite their differences. It aims to allow individuals to understand the stories of all and to thrive, learn and grow as an organization through their differences. Speaking through the theories that have proved success in driving diversity and inclusion within the workplace, firstly, we have servant leadership as a form of inclusive leadership. Servant leadership is based on social learning and social exchange theory. The former suggests that members in a team are influenced by their leader's behavior, in this case inclusive behavior and acceptance towards diversity, and will emulate the positive behavior. The latter proposes that members engage in positive behavior due to the reciprocal relationship with their leader. Servant leadership suggests that when a leader is willing to share his or her power and prioritize the needs of his or her team members, members will foster similar attitudes towards other members. This means that when authority figures in the workplace are willing to serve their employees and promote the acceptance of diversity and engage in inclusive behavior, employees will adopt similar behavior, thereby creating an inclusive work environment. However, this concept has its limitations, such that it is only viable if the leader is willing to give up his or her deserved power. In addition, for cultures that value hierarchical structure, this style might not be appreciated by the employees. Importantly, performance might be compromised if leaders are unable to draw a line from being sensitive to providing objective feedback. Next, we have contact theory, which suggests that under the right conditions, namely having equal status, common goals, intergroup cooperation, support of authority figures, and having out-of-work interaction opportunities, intergroup contact can reduce negative feelings between vastly different groups. The theory claims that contact provides an opportunity for individuals to interact and thereby be able to resolve differences and rationalize pre-held belief. As such, corporates organize team-building events and interacting opportunities for their employees, such as having weekly lunch meetings and event functions. Such actions have its basis in contact theory, and corporate management believes that such activities provide their employees a chance to engage in self-disclosure, which helps in fostering mutual understanding. This increases employees' acceptance towards colleagues of different backgrounds and creates an inclusive organizational climate. Nevertheless, corporate events may not fulfill all conditions necessitated by the contact theory, and for it to benefit the entire organization, the management must be an active participant in proposing such events. However, should the holding of such events conflict with the organization's goals, it is inevitable that employees are unable to reap the benefits of diversity and inclusion in their workplace. Moving on, the learning and effectiveness paradigm is a newly proposed paradigm built on its precedents, the discrimination and fairness, and access and legitimacy paradigms. The former focuses on providing equal opportunities and fair treatment with the recruitment and retention of employees. Ultimately, it promotes assimilation in the workplace, instilling the idea of "we are all the same." The latter, in contrast, advocates for differentiation, as it is believed that diversity caters to our society's diverse demographics and thus better satisfies consumer bases. The learning and effectiveness paradigm balances the two concepts and favors the idea of integration, which proposes for the organizational climate to provide equal opportunities for all, but instead maintains the differences between employees. Ultimately, instead of destroying diversity, it encourages the acceptance of diversity via internalization of differences, thereby fostering true inclusion. Inevitably, the paradigm is limited by the organization's effort to implement its concepts. Further, the inability to balance two vastly different concepts can result in undesired consequences. All in all, of the three theories mentioned, we chose servant leadership as our main theory, as it involves cultivating a favorable attitude that provides a motivation and desire to engage in actions proposed by the contact theory and the learning and effectiveness paradigm. In essence, servant leadership serves as a bedrock that changes our attitude to engage in behavioral change. Organizations promote diversity through employing the strategy of diversity management, which aims to establish an environment that allows employees to utilize their full potential to achieve organizational objectives. Diversity management offers employees the opportunity to experience mentoring, which is a long-term program that enables employees to establish trust, respect, and a helpful relationship with their mentors to enhance their competencies. Additionally, diversity management provides coaching, which is a short-term program that focuses on training and guiding employees to achieve their goals. Family employee-friendly policies, which allows employees a chance of balancing their family and work lifestyles in order to work more efficiently, and alternative work arrangements that lets employees work in an environment and time frame that is suitable for them to produce effective results. The benefits of encouraging diversity are revealed in a 2003 research that analysed and compared data from 34 empirical studies. Results indicated that diversity management has impacts that are classified into 4 categories, which are affective, cognitive, symbolic, and communication effects. Effects demonstrate that promotion of diversity enabled employees to experience involvement and satisfaction in their work whilst gaining an identity in their organisations. Studies have observed that negative feelings due to diversity can decrease over time if employees are involved in group reflection and discussion tasks, hence enabling collaboration between co-workers and a sense of belonging. In addition, cognitive effects convey that diversity leads to higher levels of creativity and quality decision-making. A diverse group can express different perspectives and contribute new information from a broader network of sources, hence counter-arguments offered by different employees can improve the overall decisions. Symbolic effects represent that diversity in an organization can infer equal opportunities and more employment for organizations. On the other hand, organizations aim to incorporate inclusion in the workplace as it is the removal of barriers that enable employees to participate in organizational objectives and perform at a higher level. A 2010 study on inclusion has designed a model that indicated the requirements and outcomes of inclusion. Organizations promote inclusion through the establishment of an inclusive climate, which involves policies and procedures that demonstrate the fair treatment of employees. Thus, this creates an interpersonal integration of diverse employees that will also result in the mentioned effective, cognitive, symbolic, and communication effects of diversity. Furthermore, an inclusive leadership is required in order to encourage inclusion in an organization. Leaders must display actions that demonstrate their fair treatment to employees. Leaders must convey inclusion through showing appreciation for the contributions of their employees and inviting them to make inputs, therefore allowing members to feel respected and committed to their roles. Group K explored 3 methods of obtaining case study information, including an online survey with open-ended questions, a one-on-one live interview, and an online poll with defined options to vote against. Our objective for our method was to obtain long, detailed responses from respondents. Therefore, our chosen approach was to interview a member of the team who had been working with Macquarie Group for 2 years in their risk management group. The face-to-face nature of an interview is more likely to make the interviewee more comfortable and therefore will open up and share their experiences as well as allow the interviewer to further question and clarify the interviewee's experiences. Through the interview, it was identified that the main approaches used within Macquarie Group to promote diversity and inclusion include focus on promoting D&I by finding the balance of creating one unity by inviting all to explore their differences as supported by the learning and effectiveness paradigm. They do this by focusing through the individual groups such as RMG and not just the organisation as a whole. This is because in order to create a more tailored experience and allowing employees to feel like their voice is heard, approaching this in smaller groups is a way to start out. However, having said that, within this organisation, a smaller group in this context still means over 500 employees. The second approach is to celebrate differences that extend beyond our staff through events that bring individuals together, as seen through the contact theory discussed above. This is seen through the events that she shared that occurred this month, including Autism Awareness Month, International Women's Day, LGBTIQ Afternoon Tea, plus Wear Purple Day. These events are not only to celebrate, but to educate as well as to take live feedback, opinions, and experiences from the group. Lastly, and most importantly, this positive tone that is spread from the senior members of the group and the board is important in promoting D&I as supported by the servant leadership theory. For example, Macquarie's CRO encourages and promotes diversity and inclusion through Workplace by Facebook posts, as well as his active presence at these events discussed earlier. The active promotion of diversity and inclusion is seen through its time allocation for discussion within the quarterly RMG conferences. Therefore, individuals feel that there is support from the senior members and are therefore more comfortable knowing that their feelings and voices are heard. D&I, to be discussed at these important group-wide conferences, sets a tone to all employees that D&I is a core value and a priority to RMG. The 3 approaches used within Macquarie Group to promote diversity and inclusion have yielded positive results as shown through Macquarie's work culture, as well as supported by the 3 theories discussed. Diversity and inclusion has been long talked about amongst all large corporations, but few have actively promoted and acted upon their said values. It can be concluded that these approaches have been quite successful in achieving D&I within the workplace and should be marked as an exemplar for other organisations hoping to achieve the same response and outcomes.